Hello there, thanks a lot for dropping by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and here they are, the original, Good Time Boys, and Where the Action Is house band, Paul Revere and the Raiders, with this really nice, oversized, and autographed concert poster from 1968. Wichita, Kansas, so very much a Midwestern stop for the boys. And as you can see from the writing on the poster under their photo there, their third appearance in the area as they are back by popular demand. Paul Revere and the Raiders, wow, featuring Mark Lindsay, even if he is misspelled with an A instead of an E instead of an A. And, obviously the lead singer, Lindsay, was of such classics like Kicks, Hungry, and Good Thing. And of course he's pictured in the bottom right of the photo there is Mark Lindsay. And then below that, you've got this, talk about a boilerplate line, for heaven's sake. How about this? Plus, star-studded cast of recording greats. Okay, I wonder, especially in the Midwest, but that's okay. And then below that, using for the third time the word great, it says 2 great shows, 6:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m., Friday, February 16th, 1968. Little unusual for the year to be on there, but when you have the first 6 weeks of any year, the poster is certainly conceived and probably even laid out the previous year, like December of 67, so they're a little more inclined to put 68 on there. And then you can see it says Cotillion Ballroom in Wichita, and tickets on sale January 22nd. That in itself is pretty unusual to give a ticket on sale date, and I really like it whenever that's on a poster. And then you've got Jenkins Music Store. Now, for just a second, I'd like to compare this, if you will, to a poster from the area, the very same area, from the same year, 1968. Here's a picture of the poster I was referring to, The Who, from August of that year. And boy, tell me these two weren't designed and printed by the same outfit. Holy cats, what a similarity. So as I said, the poster is autographed by the band, but not the entire band, but luckily the 2 principals are on here, so that's, really important and nice to have. It does say above Paul Revere's picture there, the smiling blonde in the front row, it does say Best Wishes, Paul Revere. And then in the bottom left corner there, not quite corner, bottom left area, you do have rather scribbled, To Carolyn, Love Mark Lindsay. Pretty much, haphazardly chicken scratched in there, but it is there. And then thirdly, for the drummer, up at the top, in a very neat, orderly autograph, you do have Joe Carrero Jr. signed right by his face. Okay, so quickly here, I do have 5 other posters to show you by the Raiders in the 1960s, which is pretty crazy. Starting with this pre-fame, if you will, 1964 tour blank with nothing filled in at the top. But it does have, as you can see under Paul Revere there, that zany, crazy, madcap photo of them with, naturally, Paul Revere posed the most, standing on top of the other guys. And then you've got below the Raiders there, as you can see, it does say sort of a band slogan, Wildest Sound for Miles Around. And in this case, miles around meant Portland, Oregon, where the group was based. And then you've got half a dozen song titles on there that I give you a good solid look at the poster itself. This is done by Tillman, by the way, out of Oakland. But you've got those 6 titles on there. Interestingly, no mention whatsoever of their national top 40 hit from 1961. Like Long Hair, an instrumental, did squeak into Billboard's top 40 in 1961. It was on Gardenia Records, the independent label, but no mention on the poster, so perhaps the guys had just moved on 3 years later. What you do have on here, of the 6 songs that are given, the biggest type there, the top line, is reserved for their third and most recent single of 1964, Ooh Papa Doo, backed with Sometimes. But whoops, boy, what a song murder on this one, holy cats. Ooh Papa Doo is given as Oop Poop Padoo. Oop Poop Padoo. Oh man, boy, shame on that Tillman typesetter for that one, unless he was given the wrong information, or she. But you really got to wonder if the poop hit the fan when this poster was made and the band members and management saw it. I don't know, but... So then for some reason they completely ignored the group's second 1964 single, and remember this poster is from late 1964, we can gauge it by the song titles, but they do have the first 1964 single on there, the A and the B side, and that would be Louie Go Home and Have Love Will Travel. And then lastly, the middle line is for the group's final single of 1963. None of these, by the way, broke into the Billboard Top 100, but they sort of bubbled under, between 100 and 120, something like that. Almost a courtesy position. But that last 45 of 63 is Louie Louie, backed with Night Train. And, Louie Louie, I'll tell you, it's got to be a little bit of a band sore point and a huge missed career opportunity for them, because obviously a classic garage band single by the Kingsmen, also from the Pacific Northwest. Well, the Kingsmen and Paul Revere and the Raiders both recorded Louie Louie the same month, April of 1963, in the same Portland studio. And the Raiders version went up to like number 102 on Billboard's chart. And the rest is history for the Kingsmen, my goodness. It went up to number 2 and became a garage band classic around which they based their career. So, such is the way things sometimes fall. I haven't played the two side by side. I imagine the Kingsmen version is probably better. But, again, I haven't tried that. So. And finally, it's interesting on this poster how Tillman decided to lay out the B-sides in the more prominent left-hand column, and the 3 A-sides of those singles are on the right-hand side. So there's probably method to their madness somewhere. Quickly running through the other 5, none of which have song titles, by the way. This has a title of some sort, though, doesn't it? Look at that, the British are coming! They proclaimed for the Waikiki Shell in Honolulu, Hawaii, in the summer of 1965. What's funny is that some potential customers listening to pop radio and stuff may assume this meant that Paul Revere and the Raiders were part of the British invasion along with the Beatles and Dave Clark 5, because they had not had any hits yet. And what's also funny is that, that's not what Paul Revere yelled on his famous Midnight Ride in 1775. He didn't even yell. It was, a quiet mission, and the wording is folklore, or paraphrasing at the best. But anyway, for only $1.55, you could catch the still never had a hit yet Raiders. Nice price there. And you've got a good proclamation for Columbia Records, their label, and K-Poi Radio being plugged from Honolulu. So here we've got one from 1966, and that means the concert here, the date is in between the Great Airplane Strike and Good Thing, and it's shared with the Standells and Johnny Rivers. And in fact, the Standells get some song love. They have Dirty Water on there, so why didn't the Raiders? I don't know, but again, they don't, so that's the way it is. Okay, skipping 1967 right to 1968 for this one, and it is from Charleston, West Virginia. And the Raiders, as you can see, are part of the Dick Clark Caravan of Stars. And this poster does single out the lead singer, again featuring Mark Lindsay, and has some pretty darn effective day glow on that black background, you have to say. And then jumping ahead another year to 1969, and a black and white poster here. And as you can see, this one's from Salem, Oregon. And quite interesting how new bassist Keith Allison gets some major love on the poster, along with a name check for Mark Lindsay. So sort of wondering how that happened, but I don't know. And Paul Revere, I guess, can take solace in the fact he has the biggest name check of all. And then for the last poster today is also from 1969, November of 69, so the decade's practically over, and it is a red, white, and blue presentation from Springfield, Missouri. And it's kind of interesting, I'll give you a quick look of it here. Mark Lindsay's hair has gotten significantly longer to the ponytail stage, you could say. Boy, Paul Revere and the Raiders, nothing but fun, right? And great records. Some garage band classics like Just Like Me and Kicks and stuff. So just love them, and guys who always like to have a good time. And it's amazing when I can show you 6 vintage posters, all different from the same act, from the 60s. It's just awesome. So hope you enjoyed the show and tell. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again for something soon. Bye-bye.